want to represent my constituency. I want to be a councillor. I want to be elected. Yeah,
They are prominent women in their chosen career. They live with disability and have lamented being neglected and sidelined in Nigeria's electoral process.
They never carried persons with disability along. They treat persons with disability equally with other bodies. For the blind person, his guide that he trusted will now tell him, he will now tell his guide who he wants to vote for. Then the guide will guide him in thumb printing. Okay. But for the leper, they don't. We've been trying to see that they have voters card because the lepers don't have thumb. They don't have fingers. Like for me, it took me 2 days to register my voters card because the first day I went there, the population there was too much. The queue, I couldn't face the queue, so I decided to come back home.
Right from even the process of getting registered to vote, you know, there are issues with capturing your thumb printing or your fingerprinting. You know, so sometimes the machines may not capture the fingerprints. You know, they may have to do it over and over and over until they actually get it. Then the physical place, you know, it's not like very wheelchair friendly. For someone that uses a cane, you know, for someone that is visually challenged, maybe to get to the place, you know, maybe there's a gutter to cross and all kind of stuff. You know, so but basically, you know, my middle name is like never give up, you know, and of course people like me too, you don't give up.
Despite their challenges, which they say have made participating in the country's election impossible, these women have remained strong, determined, and refused to be relegated to the background.
For me and for people with disabilities in Nigeria, it goes beyond the electoral process, you know. We too want to be part of it, want to belong to political parties, and be voted for too. Be able to enter the House of Assembly, National Assembly, and also, you know, be politicians who have access to everything that everybody has access to.
We want them to create a space. That should be a certain space, that's certain percentage for persons with disability to come on board. Because if we have them today in the Senate, House of Reps, House of Legislation, our cry, they could have been heard of it.
The government doesn't recognize us in giving political positions because they only give us a special advisor, which I think with the challenge, with the visually impaired or the people with challenge in general, I think we can do more than just an advisor. If given the opportunity, I think I can hold several types of offices, even the commissioner office, several things. I can do many things because as I am now, as a journalist, I can participate in, like let me say it, by being a PRO, I can be a commissioner, I can hold several posts.
Disability bill. It's been a bill for many years. I want it to be passed into law. That way, people with disabilities will be properly provided for everything, whether it's healthcare, whether it's education, whether it's employment, and everything down the line to be all inclusive. You know, that is really what we want in Nigeria, and it's not too much to ask. You know, because a country is judged by how it treats its most vulnerable people, whether it's women, whether it's children, whether it's people with disabilities. So we live in a very inclusive world now, and we too are asking. It's a human rights issue. It's not a pity party, you know. It's a human rights issue. So we too should be included in every policy that affects human beings in Nigeria.
As the 2019 general elections draw near, many have continued to question the Independent National Electoral Commission's commitment towards accommodating persons with disability in the election.
To accommodate them. For instance, in the Osun gubernatorial election, we know that some arrangements were made for visually impaired people to be able to participate, even though it was not a widespread thing that covered all the polling units. However, the visually impaired people are not the only people with disability who need who need special arrangement. You have people whose thumbs are leprous, who the card reader cannot recognize their fingerprints. We've not really seen much effort in that regard. We are still not talking about accessibility of some of the polling units. What if they have made arrangements? So why they have made attempts, I don't think that there has been anything holistic to be able to accommodate them.
The Nigeria's Electoral Act, which states the process and rights of the electorate, is expected not to be silent on the place of persons with disability in any election. A legal practitioner speaks on this.
Fortunate that disabled persons are not separately captured in our various laws. The legislation pertaining to everybody in the country also pertain to disabled persons. There are no special places for them so far created in our various laws, including the Constitution of Nigeria. The Constitution does not make a special reference to disabled persons.
Spokesperson of the Electoral Umpire in Kaduna State restated the Commission's commitment towards mainstreaming the disabled persons in the electoral process.
In those previous years, before the advent of this present administration of Professor Yakubu, the people living with disabilities were not carried along, so to say, in the sense that a policy is being put in place by the present regime of Professor Mahmoud Yakubu in order to carry the people living with disability along.
The women also stressed the need to be given special consideration during elections and its process in the country.
Well, as much as possible, INEC and all the organs of government concerned with elections should make sure that they have everything in place to ensure that people with disabilities have proper access, to where they vote in every way, physically and otherwise. They should not spend too much time on the line. And for persons who are visually challenged, they should see that they have braille papers, ballot papers that are in braille or that are brailled, so that they can, vote for vote for whoever they want to vote for privately, without having somebody always be there with you to see what you're voting, so you can actually vote, your conscience.
The government should train the electoral commissions on how to go along with persons with disability. And the government should also try to see that persons with disability are working within them. Working with them, because if persons with disability are working in the electoral commission, the problem we are facing today will not be facing it.
With the 2019 general elections only a month away, the world is keenly watching what Nigeria will make out of the over 25 million Nigerians who suffer from one physical deformity or the other, with the hope that they are being given special consideration. Neka Faithfully, Liberty News.